Do I think Arsenal have rebuilt their club in such a way that Manchester United need to emulate anything they've done? Welcome to this week's edition of One-to-One with Simon Jordan. Don't forget to keep liking and subscribing, and equally as important, to leave your questions in the comment section below. But let's get to this week's questions and show. Does he have a chance? Yeah, of course he has a chance. He has a puncher's chance. He has a chance because he has the ability to be able to make so-called top fighters very uncomfortable, and he has the punch power to do it. Does he have a chance against Tyson Fury? My view is Tyson Fury, of his generation, is the best fighter for a variety of reasons. He opened up the heavyweight division by taking the titles off Klitschko when Klitschko was still just about in his pomp. Not the Klitschko that fought Anthony Joshua, that gassed and probably would have beaten Joshua if he'd had enough left in the tank to be able to carry on putting it on Joshua when he knocked him down. But the Tyson Fury that's fighting Dillian Whyte is now someone that's won that title, gone back, beaten Deontay Wilder, and whatever people say about that was a fight made for him. He fought Deontay Wilder first time in a way that he wanted to fight him, and then he fought Deontay Wilder at his own game. So I think, Fury has got all the ingredients to fight someone that's technically good and someone that can hit. And probably Dillian Whyte falls into both of those categories. So whilst I want him to put on a good performance, and I think he will, I think it's difficult to see, unless Tyson doesn't take it seriously and doesn't train properly, which I don't think would be the case, or takes Dillian Whyte too lightly, and I don't think Fury is that kind. I know the argument about Otto Wallin was something that could have been Fury not preparing properly, but to go to the question, I find it really difficult to make a case for anything other than a good performance from Dillian Whyte, but not a win. Do I think Arsenal have rebuilt their club in such a way that Manchester United need to emulate anything they've done? Difficult argument to make, because I'm not entirely sure what Arsenal have actually done that's worthy of emulating. Yeah, they've taken a stance on a couple of players that needed their minds concentrated in Ozil and Aubameyang, but what exactly have Arsenal done? Okay, they've won the FA Cup. I grant you that's an achievement, but United have a far more potent squad than Arsenal. They just haven't managed it properly. They have far more capability financially, not just because the owner of Arsenal doesn't seem to want to invest at the level. He's investing, don't get me wrong, but not at the level that United's and the Chelsea's and the Man City's are. So I'm not sure, it's no deep-seated hatred of Arsenal or failure to give them credit. I'm not sure what it is that Manchester United are going to want to copy from Arsenal. Look, the ownership of Leicester has proven to be quite loyal, but also at times able to make ruthless decisions when they don't think the manager's going the right way. Brendan is a very good manager, and whilst I didn't particularly agree with his observations after their pathetic defence of the FA Cup came down crashing around their ears against a very good Nottingham Forest side, but notwithstanding that, a Nottingham Forest side that have been out of the Premier League for 23 years, that have hit a run of form recently, that's compelling, but shouldn't be compelling enough to overcome Leicester. That was about attitude of play. So I didn't agree with Brendan's observations about a chapter that needed to have been, needs to be changed, and a sort of a distancing himself from his obligations to get a team ready and good enough to beat a championship side. I don't look at Leicester and think they're not playing well. I thought they were very good against West Ham and were very unlucky. I thought they were also very good against Wolves and unlucky again. I don't get the impression that the players aren't playing for Brendan. I don't get the impression that the ownership, based upon their recent observations, have any inclination to take Brendan out. Brendan is a very good manager. He's not an elite manager. He's not in the Klopp, Guardiola category. He's just one below them. But with the greatest respect to Leicester, that's where they are as a club, because they're not in the Liverpool, Man City or Chelsea bracket. I can't imagine that Eddie Howe is facing the consequences of some form of success, with the ultimate recognition being the chop. I think that will come at some point, because unless he does something particularly stellar with Newcastle And part of that will be his ability to be able to sign players. So I've kind of got this image in my mind of players of a real high end sitting in a room with Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall and thinking, would you sign for those two guys? Maybe that's unfair. But no, I don't think so. I think that they've bought their way into a position where they're distancing themselves from trouble. I think Newcastle will stay up. I don't think his reward will be the sack. I think that will come when they've spent a lot more money. They've started from an even platform or even launch pad in terms of its Eddie Howe's team. Eddie Howe spent 150 million quid in the summer, and maybe the team hasn't delivered upon whatever expectations that ghastly ownership model has for it. I mean, this is an argument about Mohamed Salah and the contract that he has with Liverpool and its expiration and the desires he has to be on XYZ money. Look, Liverpool aren't stupid. They know what they've got on their hands. They know he's a fundamental part and an integral part of any success they have. They're also having to balance what he may want against the reality of how much they're playing the rest of the squad. It's a difficult one because I think the salaries that are being paid to footballers are obscene, and I think that they're unjustified at times. But in few instances, as obscene as they are, if this is the landscape, he is one of those that merits that kind of salary. If you're going to pay De Bruyne what he's getting paid over at Man City, if you're going to pay De Gea what he's getting paid at Manchester United, and we go on and we go on and we go on, then irrespective of the wage structure at Liverpool, you've got to pay the best players in the world, and he's one of them, these kind of market prices. I think Liverpool will take care of business in the summer, and I think the media are making it more of a problem than perhaps either the player, the manager, or the club think it is, and they'll do their business quietly. Very rarely do Liverpool do bad business. We all do bad business, but very rarely do Liverpool do bad business. Then Mohamed Salah being allowed to go makes no economic sense, because if you sell him, you're going to have to replace him, and he's going to wind his contract down, so he'll probably go on a free. So to replace Mohamed Salah, you're going to be spending 100 million quid, or 60 or 70 or 80 million quid. That's going to depreciate at 20 million quid a year. You're going to have a player on 300 grand a week anyway, coming in, or 200 grand a week. So it makes no sense not to give him within reason what he wants and manage that through the rest of the squad so it doesn't become anarchy. You know, there's mutiny in the ranks because one guy is getting far too much money and everyone else thinks they should be getting near that. So I'm confident that Liverpool will take care of business in the best interest of Liverpool Football Club, and the beneficiary of that will be Mohamed Salah financially, and the Liverpool fans because they'll get to see him for a little bit longer. Right, that's this week's show. Don't forget to let me know your views on Salah, Brendan Rodgers and Newcastle. Of course, most importantly, to like and subscribe and continue leaving those questions in the comment section below.